I'm Nathan Judo. I'm here with Wolves reporter Tim Spiers. Tim, 5 successive defeats now in the league, 1 point off the bottom 3. This is worrying times now for Wolves.
Panic stations, I guess.
Yeah.
13 cup finals left, all the cliches you want to throw at it, but yeah, they're bang in trouble. I mean, in isolation, a really good performance today, I thought, and they were unlucky to lose. I think Wolves think a number of decisions went against them. I thought they played some excellent football in the second half, and like I said, in isolation, they played well, and they've been unlucky to lose. But in the context of this really, what is now a relegation scrap.
Yeah. I mean, it is, isn't it? I mean,
you can't really take positives out of it because it's all about results.
Yeah, of course.
It's not about performances.
And just going back to the start, let's go back to the very beginning. Plenty of changes from Paul Lambert. Some we thought, some quite surprising.
Yeah, we knew he'd make changes. Weren't expecting quite so many. I think he had one eye on the kind of game that it would be. Reading having a lot of possession, maybe, which I think is why Spiers came in. I thought the game suited him, and he played well. And also probably one eye on Tuesday as well with the Ipswich game,
of course,
because consistency obviously been a problem for Wolves. Well, except for consistently losing. So he's had Tuesday in mind as well. But yeah, it freshened things up. Nobody really had a bad game. Certainly the ones that came in. I thought Saville did okay at left back.
He just got skinned early first half. Apart from that, he did fine.
But the guy.
What about if you Cameron Puthwick Jackson?
Yeah.
I mean,
we'll never see him in a Wolves shirt again.
No.
Almost certain of that. Surprised to see Doherty dropped.
Yeah.
He's dipped below his level in recent weeks, but surprised to see him drop. Saville did okay. The guy Popper on the right wing was danger man for Reading, but Saville kept him quiet to the extent that he was then taken off. So I thought Hawes and Williamson did well at centre half. Yeah, as we said, Sace did well. Marshall got in and got his goal, and there were a few nice touches from him, and he looks fitter. And Dicko looked fairly sharp as well. So yeah, the changes that came in improved the team, you've got to say, compared to recent performances.
Bit of a non-event first half, but of course that big chance for Helder Costa.
Yeah, that was the plan in the first half, to nullify Reading's threat, stop them playing, and try and hit them on the break. And they did exactly that. I mean, Reading had one dribbling shot from 35 yards in what was a terrible first half, has to be said. And it looks like Wolves, were coming for a 0-0, and if they get a goal on the break, game plan, smash and grab. And so Costa kind of got the ball on halfway just before half time, long run, and then a shot, which I haven't seen the replay, but Wolves are adamant. I spoke to Paul Lambert and Dave Edwards, adamant it was handball.
Right.
It was deflected behind for a corner, and from that corner, Sace has got his head to it, and it's cleared off the line. And again, Wolves said that, having seen the replays, they think that was over the line. So, in fact, there's quite a number of decisions that they're feeling aggrieved about, actually.
And then they obviously came out second half, and just the worst kind of look. I suppose when it's against you, and you can't do anything about that. But in a way, it galvanised Wolves, didn't it? Because they played the best 20 minutes. They were absolutely dominated.
Tell you what, they got the goal on 50. Nice slow cross from Dicko. There's Marshall to put it home, and from 50 to just before Reading's goal, so 50 to 75. Yeah. It was one-way traffic. Absolutely dominant, and created a number of chances, got in a number of even better opportunities where perhaps the final ball was lacking. But they haven't been playing disastrous football for the last few weeks.
No.
They have had a lot of possession in the games they've lost at home. It's been about that clinical touch. Lambert spoke about it this week, and it still wasn't there. So they were punished.
How worrying is this now, from your point of view? Our Wolves could Wolves realistically go down? Do you think the Wolves could get relegated this season?
Of course they could. And if they think otherwise, then they will get relegated. Do you know what I mean? If they're going to sleepwalk through this and feel sorry for themselves, because they've played well today and lost, that mentality equals relegation. So they've got to realise exactly what they're in. They can't think they're above the teams around them in terms of ability or in terms of characters of what they've got. They are very knee-deep in a relegation battle, and I tell you what, if they lose the next 2 games, away at Ipswich and at home to Rotherham next week, then Lambert's position becomes on very shaky ground. No manager can lose 8 games and not be fearful of his job. And then And then, well, by that point they'd probably be in the relegation zone as well if they lost the next two games. So the next week is huge, absolutely huge. You can't. There's no other way of saying it. It's absolutely massive.
I think if you've got the players in there now, I mean, what kind of mentality are you going into games? Are you going into games, just play as you can? Have you got a system, or is it just that mentality now? Is it that?
I don't think there's anything wrong with the system necessarily. It's changed it to 4-3-3 today, and it's worked well. I don't think there's not much wrong with the tactics either. It's just about that final clinical touch in front of goal, the right pass, the right cross, the right shot. And that's where Wolves are falling down, and that's the worry, because Dicko and Bodvarsson haven't scored all season long. Their goal record is pathetic. There's no other way of saying it. Costa's goals have now dried up. Edwards' goals have now dried up. There's nobody looking like scoring consistently. That is a major worry. I'm not too concerned about the defence. I think they've got four very good centre halves to choose from, and you've proved that today. He's rotated the two of them.
Sure.
Like I said, not necessarily worried about them shipping loads of goals. It's more about scoring at the other end. And until they start doing that, then they will be heading for relegation.
They're going to have to make a change at least at the back on Tuesday night. Mike Williamson sent off today.
Yeah.
Personally, I thought that he deserves both yellow cards. I know other people disagree. What was your take on it?
Well, when I first saw it, Reading were looking to counter. To be honest, I forgot that he'd been booked at this point, and I remember saying to you, that's a bloody good foul, that is, because Reading were out to counter, albeit in their own half, and it looked like Williamson had deliberately stopped him. But yeah, again, Wolves say I haven't seen the replays. Williamson kind of had his hands up, getting out of the way. I'd have to see it again, but Wolves are unhappy with that. They're also unhappy with Reading's second goal, which they think was offside. And again, they've seen the replays and we haven't. So, according to Wolves, that's four key decisions that have gone against them today. Now, that's no excuse at all. And like I said, I haven't seen the replays, but that's their viewpoint of it. And like I said, in isolation, they've been very unlucky today. But in the context of this mess, it's another nail in the coffin.
And like you said, now a quick turnaround for Ipswich.
Yeah, which is exactly what you want, I think. And he's got options to change it up again, change the team up again. Exactly what you're going to get with Ipswich. It'll be a very different game to today. Lots of long balls and crosses from Ipswich. Very very hard working and organised team. So it's up to Wolves to be exactly the same and to fight harder than Ipswich fight. That's the kind of game it'll be on Tuesday. That's the kind of game to stand up and be counted, to get a result out of nowhere. It doesn't matter how well they play at all. They can have a shocking game and win 1-0. It's all about getting a result now ahead of that Rotherham game next week. Bloody hell, I mean, that looms large, it really does.
Worrying at times for Wolves. It's Reading 2, Wolves 1. For all the post-match reaction on this one, make sure you log on to expressandstar.com.